When we think about Ramadan, we often think about the fasting, right? But it's so much more than that. It's really about those quiet, personal moments. Those moments where you feel a direct connection, where even the simplest words you say feel like they have this incredible weight.
So, it really gets you thinking, what is it that gives a prayer its power? I mean, is it about saying the perfect words, or praying at just the right time? Or is it something else entirely? Something, deeper? Something that comes from the heart? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into. We're going to look at 3 really personal, quiet moments during Ramadan. And through these stories, these voices of faith, I think we'll find a really beautiful, simple answer. All right, so our first story is all about finding a little bit of peace in the middle of the night. So imagine this. It's the 25th night of Ramadan. A young man gets home after a long night of prayers. He is completely exhausted, but his mind is just buzzing. He lies down, but sleep, it's just not happening. And as he's just lying there, trying to quiet his thoughts, he remembers something his dad used to tell him. It was simple advice: never go to sleep without remembering Allah. And even though he's tired, those words really stick with him. So right there in bed, he raises his hands and just whispers this beautiful, simple prayer, Allahumma bismika amutu wa ahya, which means, "O Allah, in your name I die and I live." Wow. I mean, talk about a moment of complete surrender, right? Just handing it all over. And he doesn't stop there. He then adds his own words, asking for forgiveness for his day and for his fast to be accepted. It becomes this really personal, quiet conversation. And the effect is, well, it's immediate. That restlessness, it just melts away. And in its place is this incredible calm. Peace finally settles in his heart, and he closes his eyes and just rests. And what this story shows us so beautifully is that in Ramadan, there's no such thing as a small moment. You see, even the dua you make right before you fall asleep, it can bring this amazing sense of peace and forgiveness. Okay, so for our next story, we're shifting gears a little bit. We're moving from that quiet, solitary moment to a really touching interaction between a father and his son. So here we have this little boy, and he's watching his dad. And he notices that every single day, right after breaking his fast, his father does the same thing. Every single time. He raises his hands to pray. So, kids are curious. He goes up to his dad and asks, "What are you praying for every day?" And his father tells him the prayer. It's a plea not for something big or flashy, but for something so much more important: acceptance. And this is where he drops this amazing piece of wisdom on his son. He explains that, look, true fasting isn't just about not eating or drinking. It's not just about being hungry. The real point is to ask Allah to accept it from you. I mean, that's a huge shift in perspective, isn't it? It teaches us that the most important part isn't just doing the fast, but sincerely hoping and praying that it's accepted. That's what gives it all its meaning. Okay, our third and final story. This one takes us to one of the most powerful nights of the entire year. And we're going to look into the heart of a man who's just carrying this heavy, heavy weight of regret. It's the 27th night. Many people believe this is Laylatul Qadr, the night of power. The mosque is absolutely packed. You can just feel the emotion in the air. But for this one man, all he can feel is the crushing weight of all his past mistakes. He feels totally lost in the crowd. But then, he remembers the special dua for this night. And with tears just rolling down his cheeks, he starts whispering it over and over. Allahumma innaka afuwan tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. It's this incredibly raw, heartfelt plea for forgiveness. And as he's saying these words, something incredible starts to happen. He can literally feel a shift inside him. That heavy heart full of regret starts to feel lighter, and a little spark of hope starts to grow in its place. Because that is the incredible promise of Laylatul Qadr. It shows that just one sincere dua coming from a place of real, honest regret can have the power to erase years of mistakes. So, we've looked at 3 different moments, 3 different lives, right? What's the one thing that ties all these stories together? I mean, think about it. We had a young man alone in his room, a father with his son, and a man surrounded by people in a mosque. Totally different situations, different prayers, but the power behind them, it came from the exact same place. The power wasn't about using fancy words or making some long, elaborate prayer. It was all about sincerity. That pure, honest feeling behind the words. That's what gave the young man peace. That's what taught the little boy about acceptance. And that's what brought hope and mercy to the man in the mosque.
So we come all the way back to that first question we asked. What gives a prayer its power? And the answer, as we've seen, is so simple. It's sincerity. So as we think about these stories, it kind of leaves us with a question for ourselves, doesn't it? If these were their voices of faith, what will yours